The first word on them usually is who made it. This is made by Northrop.
Okay.
That one's made by McDonnell Douglas.
McDonald's.
McDonnell Douglas,
Okay.
which Boeing owns now, so Boeing built it. The next thing you see is a designator. If you know what the letters mean, the alphanumeric, tells you what the airplane does. In this case, it's an A, which means attack. T is a trainer. This always was a trainer, but they figured out you could drop a bomb with it. It's called an attack. The one dressed like a Blue Angel is an A4. It was an attack aircraft. It was designed to drop bombs and missiles in support of troops and trying to destroy buildings, bridges, railroad yards, anything else you're going to do in that way. The F4 was a fighter. The neat thing about it is it was actually what they called multi-role. It was a fighter bomber. He could carry bombs and missiles at the same time. This one couldn't.
Okay.
So he would carry bombs, and then you would have to send fighters along with it to protect it. And when you're looking at Vietnam from the MiGs, they couldn't self-protect themselves at the same mission.
B-17 and P-51 pair. Am I correct? B-17 bombers, they went, and P-51 they escorted them.
Later in the war.
Later
and that's
in the
what
war.
made it practical, because before the P-51, the fighters they were using, the P-47s, the Spitfires, now the Mustang and the Spitfire had the same engine. It was a Rolls-Royce built Merlin. But the Spitfire, when they launched from England, would get a little bit into France, they'd have to go back because they'd be out of fuel. The P-51 could get up to the 25,000 feet that the bombers are flying. With one drop tank, they could go all the way into Berlin and back.
But how it is possible? Because both of them use same engine. It's almost same weight. Is it aerodynamics?
Aerodynamics is a good part of it. If you look at the P-51, it was all metal. The Spitfire was fabric.
Okay.
Okay, so it was kind of lighter. It was draggier. If you look at the design of it looks really nice and neat. But when you start thinking of things moving and drag and surface flow and all the little things that add into your aerodynamics, the P-51 is a very clean, smooth, well-designed laminar flow wing. So it was a lot more efficient than the Spitfire.
Compared to even today's standards.
Well, we still race them. In Reno, Nevada, they race them today, and they're flying about 75 to 100 feet off the ground, going close to 500 miles an hour on a closed course. So even today, for a piston engine airplane, it still does almost the speed of a jet.
I read about it, and my class teacher told me like P-51 is way ahead of the time, and it is equivalent to what other people invented on 1990s. Is it true?
Close. As far as propeller driven, the only thing that made the P-51 kind of go away was the fact that everybody wanted to go 600 miles an hour faster. And the P-51, the propeller can't do that. That's the simple answer. By getting close to the speed of sound, everything, the air changes, the compression changes, and the engine cannot produce the power to push it through. The same way, this airplane is not supersonic unless you're diving. Now,
Okay.
He can, but he's got to be at full power and he's got to be pointed to the ground with gravity helping. These can go supersonic in level flight, but you have to do something again different. The jet engine, good example of the big one, the big CF6 in the back there, was designed for airliners. It's efficient. It likes air coming in about 400 and 450 miles an hour. It produces 43,000 pounds of thrust, but it won't go supersonic. To do that, the military aircraft, if you look at the tunnels where the engines aren't that long. The engines are rather short. But you have to slow the air down coming into the front of the jet.
Okay.
So that the engine still runs. Secondly, on the tailpipe, they've got a large, about a 4-foot section of tailpipe that's full of holes. To go that fast, you have to basically inject the raw fuel into the exhaust of the jet, which makes it operate more like a rocket. So when you're into afterburner, it pushes the aircraft ahead faster than the speed of sound. Bad news about that is, burns 7 times the fuel.
Well, 200 times less.
So when I leave in an F-14 with the 2 drop tanks and a full complement of missiles, I weigh a little over 74,000 pounds. With the 2 drop tanks, I have about 2 hours and 45 minutes of flight time. Unless
2 hours,
I'm staying up
45
in
minutes.
full back. When I go to afterburner, you divide 2 hours and 45 minutes by 7. I'm down to about 21 minutes of flight time.
Oh.
Because I'm burning fuel that much, which is why all of our aircraft can refuel in midair. If you're going out and fighting, you're going to be using so much fuel, you're going to need more fuel. So when you look at like the Iraqi war and Afghanistan today, they take off. They go to a tanker, they full of fuel, they go on the mission, they come back to the tanker, and they go home. So basically in a 2.5 hour mission, they'll real fuel twice. So when you think of military jets, just think of money. Because in fuel costs alone, you're going to spend huge amounts of money. And for any country, not just us, you guys fly top-line fighters. We buy a lot more of them from Russia now in India, but they're the same way. There's no difference.
Cost is different. It's like
everything's money. If you can get the same performance for less money, why wouldn't you buy that? It makes sense.
Yeah.
The only thing so far we're probably still ahead of the Russians with is our avionics. Our radars and our electronics are better than theirs.
I really agree.
But then again, what you guys are doing more likely is you're going to buy it and you're going to change the electronics out and produce your own systems because you're better at electronics than the Russians.
So